built on a foundation of trust that was now crumbling beneath my feet. I had put all my trust in Julian. I always believed he was a family man, someone who would be with me through any difficulty. He was my rock, my anchor. And now here I was, hiring a stranger to follow my own husband. The irony was a bitter pill to swallow. I felt like I was in a bad movie, a character in a drama I never auditioned for. That night, as I sat in the bakery, the familiar scent of yeast and flour, a constant, soothing presence, going over delivery invoices. My phone vibrated. A message from Mr. Thomas. I opened it, my heart pounding a mile a minute, the blood roaring in my ears. It was a photo of Julian, in the light blue shirt he often wore, entering a fancy restaurant, holding hands with a woman. I zoomed in on the image, and my heart stopped. It was Allison, my daughter-in-law. She was wearing a tight black dress with heavy makeup, intense red lipstick, and her hair down. They didn't look like father-in-law and daughter-in-law, but like a couple on a date, their bodies turned toward each other, a shared secret between them. I sank into my chair, my hand trembling as I held the phone. Allison, how was this possible? At family gatherings, she and Julian always acted distant, barely speaking to each other. I now realized it was a masterful act, a performance for my benefit. Mr. Thomas sent more photos. In one, they were sitting in a secluded corner, the table decorated with candles and flowers. Allison was leaning toward him, smiling, and Julian was toasting her glass with an oddly tender gaze. I saw the photo and felt a crushing pain in my chest. In 40 years, I had never seen him look at me like that, not even when we were young, when I was that girl from San Diego with long hair and a radiant smile. He looked at me that way. A look of genuine adoration, of a love I thought was mine. Now it was hers. In the middle of the night, a video arrived from Mr. Thomas. The clock on the wall read 2:00 a.m. I put on my headphones, a desperate attempt to keep the secret contained, and pressed play. My hands so shaky I almost dropped the phone. In the video, Allison leaned close to Julian's ear, whispering something that made him laugh loudly, a sound that was a stranger to me. Her voice sounded sweet, her eyes sparkling under the restaurant lights. Then they got up and left, and Julian, ever the gentleman, opened the car door for her as if she were a lady and he were her lover. I replayed the video again and again, a self-inflicted torture. Each time felt like another stab to the heart. Allison, my daughter-in-law, whom I had treated like my own daughter, whom I had taught how to make our family's traditional flan. And Julian, the man I had given my whole life to, with whom I had built a family. What were they doing behind my back? Behind Daniel's back? The questions were a tidal wave, threatening to drown me. I saved all the photos and the video to a flash drive, making a note of every detail, date, time, place, even the name of the restaurant. My hands worked on autopilot, but my mind was in chaos. I didn't want to believe it. I couldn't believe Julian and Allison were capable of something so low, so cruel. But the evidence was right in front of me, undeniable, a mountain of proof. I stayed in the bakery among trays of sweet pastries that smelled delicious, but I felt like my world was falling apart. I remembered the early days of the business, when Julian would help me carry sacks of flour, when we would laugh together in that little kitchen, our dreams as big as the sky. Now it all seemed like a distant memory, a beautiful lie I had lived for too long. The next morning I was in the small kitchen of the bakery, holding a list of orders for a large hotel downtown. The smell of flour and vanilla, which always brought me peace, felt empty that day, a hollow comfort. As soon as I finished signing the delivery invoice, my phone vibrated in my apron pocket. I wiped my hands, and my heart sank when I saw it was a message from the detective. Just a short sentence. "Mrs. Roberts, I'm sending you more evidence." I took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. But my hands trembled as I opened the message. A series of photos appeared on the screen. The first showed Julian, in his usual gray shirt, leaving a law office near the main plaza. By his side was Allison, in a beige office dress, her hair in a high ponytail, and huge dark sunglasses that almost covered her face, a pathetic attempt at anonymity. They were walking very close together, not like in-laws, but like a couple, their bodies a testament to their forbidden bond. In the next photo, they were standing in front of a 4-star hotel with gleaming glass doors and a gold sign. I zoomed in, desperately looking for some sign to deny what I was seeing, but there was nothing. They looked too natural, too comfortable together, a part of a world I was not a part of. Then came a short video from Mr. Thomas. I pressed play, and my heart pounded so hard I thought it would burst, a frantic drum against my ribs. The shot was from a distance, but it was clear enough to see Julian and Allison on the third-floor balcony of the hotel. His arm was around her waist, and she was resting her head on his shoulder, her long hair moving softly in the wind. And then, like a stab, I saw them share a quick kiss, without trying to hide. It was a brief kiss, but it was enough to burn away the last spark of hope I had left. I replayed the video frame by frame, each image digging deeper into my soul, a slow, agonizing descent into hell. The room curtain opened slightly, and Allison came out, running to hug Julian, her face lit up with happiness, as if she were a young girl in love. I slumped into the chair, clutching the edge of the table to keep from falling apart. Mr. Thomas wrote, "They also rented the room for the afternoon. It looks like they're staying the night. I'll keep an eye on them." I read the message over and over, my throat tight, as if I were being strangled. Just a few hours earlier, Julian had written to me, "Juliet, I won't be home tonight. I have to meet a potential partner from out of town. Get some rest." The tone was sweet and caring, just as it had been for years. But now I knew it was all a lie, a well-constructed lie. A potential partner from out of town. He wasn't out of town. He was here, in a 4-star hotel, with our own daughter-in-law. I opened my portable hard drive and carefully saved every photo and every video. Each time I hit save, I looked at the image, as if to make sure I wasn't dreaming. In the video, Julian's gaze toward Allison was so tender. The way he caressed her hair reminded me of the way he used to do it with me, more than 30 years ago. We were young, and I believed our love would last forever, a promise whispered under a starry San Diego sky. Now, seeing this, all I saw was lies and blatant betrayal. I remembered family gatherings, everyone sitting around the table, a tableau of our perfect family. Allison always sat far away from Julian. Sometimes she even looked at him with disgust. Daniel would joke, "Mom, I think Allison can't stand Dad. She avoids him like the plague." I believed it too. I thought they just didn't get along, that she was just trying to fit into the family. But now I understood it had all been a farce, a carefully choreographed dance of deception. They acted too well in front of me, in front of Daniel, in front of the whole neighborhood. I felt like a fool, a blind wife, betrayed by 2 traitors right in front of my eyes. People were going about their lives unaware of what was happening on that hotel balcony. But Mr. Thomas had captured the perfect moment, like a silent hunter, a snapshot of my reality. I replied to him, "Thank you. Please keep watching. I need to know everything." He answered briefly, "I will. Stay calm." That night, I returned to the house that had been my home with Julian. It felt foreign now, a place of ghosts and lies. I opened the dresser drawer and took out a thick envelope, my hands moving with a grim determination. I printed all the evidence, photos of Julian and Allison leaving the lawyer's office, photos of them entering the hotel, photos of them on the balcony, and every frame of the video. I carefully arranged them, sealed the envelope, and hid it at the bottom of the drawer, under old family photos. I looked at a photo of the 4 of us, Julian, Allison, Daniel, and me, at Daniel's birthday party a few years ago. Allison was smiling, hugging Daniel tightly, while Julian stood beside me with his arm on my shoulder, looking proud. Now, looking at it, all I wanted was to rip it to pieces, to tear the image of their smiling faces from my life. The next morning, just before dawn, I heard the front door open slowly. Julian staggered in, smelling of alcohol. "The partner was too difficult, Juliet," he complained in a raspy voice, his eyes red as if he'd been up all night. "I had to drink a lot. I'm dead tired." I was in the kitchen with a glass of water in my hand, watching him perform while feeling like he was rubbing salt in a wound. "Rest," I replied calmly, as always, the practiced voice of a wife. "You have to go to work tomorrow." He nodded, gave me a pat on the shoulder as if nothing had happened, and dragged himself to the bedroom. Minutes later, he was snoring peacefully, as if he'd never cheated on me, as if he'd never gone to a hotel with our own daughter-in-law. When I was sure Julian was asleep, my phone vibrated. It was a call from the detective, Mr. Thomas. His voice was low, almost a whisper, as if he feared someone would overhear him. "Mrs. Roberts, I recorded their conversation in the hotel parking lot. I used special equipment. They didn't even notice. I'm sending it to you now." My heart pounded hard, but I simply replied, "Thank you, Thomas. Send me the file." Minutes later, an audio file appeared in my messages. I put on my headphones, sat at the table, and pressed play. The first thing I heard was Allison's voice, cold and ambitious, a stranger's voice. "Dad, hurry up with that fake contract. I want to have that whole chain of stores already. I want that old hag out of the house." I felt a blow to my chest and gripped the phone tightly. Then came Julian's voice, deep and confident. "Don't worry about those papers. Juliet doesn't know anything. Leave it in my hands. She trusts me too much." It felt like a knife twisting in my heart. They weren't just cheating on me. They were planning to take everything I had built. The bakery chain, all the sweat, tears, and sleepless nights. Baking every batch, running all over town to make deliveries to keep my reputation. It was all mine. Julian never once got his hands dirty in the kitchen. He never worked the counter or signed contracts with hotels. And now he and Allison wanted to take it all away. To kick me out of the house I had made a home. I almost broke down, but I still had the composure to copy the audio to the flash drive where I kept the other evidence. I carefully wrote down the time and place, as if trying to keep myself steady in the middle of the storm. The next morning, as I made coffee in the bakery, my phone vibrated again. Thomas sent another batch of new photos taken with a telephoto lens. In them, Julian and Allison were inside his car with a thick pile of papers in front of them. Allison had a red pen and was marking the document intently. Julian, next to her, nodded and smiled as if he were in full agreement. Thomas wrote, "I overheard something. It seems they want to use a contact at the notary's office to make the transfer. I'll investigate further." I zoomed in on the photo. I could see the letters on the paper, though I couldn't read them. But I knew. These weren't normal work papers. They were planning to steal everything I had worked for, step by step. I sat there among the trays of sweet pastries that smelled so delicious, but I felt as if my whole world was collapsing.